Good evening, folks, or afternoon, I should say, as it's 3:32. We're coming to you live on Facebook and in the WVLT News app and on our streaming platforms. I'm Amanda Hara. We have a breaking news development that we want to share with you. We have learned within the last half hour that a helicopter has crashed in Cott County near the Sevier County line, close to Cosby. We're going to take you to a map here and give you a better idea of the general area we're talking about. This is Hooper Highway. See here where this red pin mark is, and authorities are telling us that the helicopter crashed in this general vicinity not far from Cosby, which we see is right here. We have learned within the last 5 or 10 minutes or so that one person is confirmed dead and one person is in critical condition after this helicopter crash on Hooper Highway. That is according to Sevier County's sheriff, who is on scene. We know that Cott County authorities are on scene as well. Now, WVLT has reached out to a number of entities that we know fly helicopters. Specifically, University of Tennessee Medical Center operates several Lifestar helicopters for medical purposes. They tell me this afternoon that none of their helicopters were involved in this. We're also hearing from several of the helicopter touring companies in Sevier County. Sevier County Choppers is telling us that this was not one of their helicopters, that they are hearing it was a private owner out of Utah. That's coming from Brian Walker, who works with Sevier County Choppers. And yes, Cameron, one of my digital people, asking if that's new information. That is new information that we are receiving. So if you want to add that to the web story, Brian with Sevier County Choppers telling me that one of their helicopters was not involved with this, that he's saying a private owner out of Utah is who may have been involved here. We also, of course, spoke with Scenic Helicopter Tours in Sevier County. They also confirmed that they were not involved in this crash, but did tell us that they believe these conditions, weather conditions today, are not flyable. And you can see that there in our web story. Basically, they're saying these conditions were not appropriate for flying a helicopter. Sevier County Aviation Tours in Sevier County also telling us that none of their aircraft were involved with this. And that makes us think, okay, let's talk about the weather situation. We know that we have a weather alert day in effect, two essentially round of storms coming in. One came in this morning, another around 7 o'clock that should last till about midnight. We've got our team of meteorologists here watching this system and the possible effects of it. We know that strong wind will be a big component to this, and so they are watching the latest on the weather front there. Again, still trying to learn a little bit more about what exactly happened in Cott County near the Sevier County line. This is the area here. This red pin indicates Hooper Highway, and Cott County's Chief Deputy Ball confirming that a helicopter crashed somewhere in this vicinity near Cosby and the Sevier County and Cott County line. The Sevier County Sheriff telling us that one person has died and that one person is critically injured following this helicopter crash. Now, one of our first efforts was to reach out to some of the different agencies and businesses in the area that we know operate helicopters as part of their business. UT Medical Center telling us none of their aircraft were involved, that they are all safely at base. Sevier County Choppers, which operates tours in the area, they're telling us that none of their aircraft were involved. Scenic Helicopter Tours in Sevier County says not us either, but telling WVLT that they believe that today's weather conditions were not flyable. And then Sevier County Aviation Tours telling us that they were not involved either. But we did learn within the last 5 to 10 minutes or so that unfortunately one person has died in this helicopter crash and that one person is now considered injured, critically injured, after this helicopter crash near Hooper Highway in Sevier County. And I'm going to take you back to the map to give you a better idea of exactly what we're talking about when we look at the area and terrain. So this red pin indicates Hooper Highway, and you can see all the and attractions and businesses that exist along Hooper Highway, Smoky Bear Campground and RV Park, and Hooper Highway leads up to 321 that would then take you on up to Cosby. And so, and then we branch off to Foothills Parkway. And so this gives you a better idea of the exact area that we're talking about. But authorities saying that the crash happened somewhere in this general vicinity in Cott County on the Sevier County line, close to Cosby, off Hooper Highway. So this is the general area that we're working with. We do have a crew that headed to the scene about 45 minutes ago, so we're hoping that they can get there fairly quickly and give us a better indication of exactly what we're looking at here. But again, Sevier County's sheriff telling our Kyle Granger, who is, of course, our Sevier County bureau chief, that one person has died in this helicopter crash and that one person is critically injured. One of the first things that we did was reach out to some of the different agencies and businesses in our area that we know routinely fly helicopters, UT Medical Center being one of them, and they're telling us this afternoon that all of their UT Lifestar helicopters are accounted for and at their bases. So UT Medical and their Lifestar choppers not involved. We also reached out to Sevier County choppers. They tell us, and this is information I just got from Brian Walker, who I believe is their general manager, that none of their helicopters were involved, but that they are hearing a private owner out of Utah is who perhaps was involved in this deadly crash, helicopter crash off of Hooper Highway near the Sevier and Cott County lines. We also reached out to Sevier County Aviation Tours. They also are one of these groups that provides helicopter tours in the area. They say it's not them. And Scenic County choppers, they told us, you know what, the weather conditions today are not great for flying, not ideal for flying a helicopter, which was one of the first questions that we raised in the newsroom as we heard about this. Is the weather system that we're encountering today, because we do have a first alert weather day in effect, are these conditions that anyone would really fly a helicopter in? And so Scenic telling us, no, these conditions are not ideal. Unfortunately, we are learning from the Sevier County Sheriff through Kyle Granger, who is our Sevier County Bureau Chief, that one person has died and one person is critically injured after a helicopter crashed in this vicinity in the Sevier County, Cott County line in the Cosby area. And it's, we know, right off Hooper Highway. And you can see this topographical map. We've got it layered so you can see the geography. We see a lot more, we see a lot of ridges and mountain lines in this area. And if you've been out here, the Foothills Parkway, you know that there's valleys and hills and mountains and hollers. So this is some definite terrain in this general vicinity. If you're just joining us, we are following news of a deadly helicopter crash in Cott County, right there at the Sevier County line, near Cosby, off of Hooper Highway. The sheriff in Sevier County is telling our Sevier County Bureau Chief Kyle Granger that one person has died and that one person is considered critically injured at this hour after a helicopter went down. Within the last hour or so is when we started receiving reports, various reports from viewers as well as authorities. We are working to learn more about where this helicopter may have come from. Okay, thanks. Just getting some new information from the newsroom, and we are learning more about the exact location. So let me take you back to the map here so we can give you a better idea of the exact location. And I'm just going to punch this in. Apple Tree Lane is the crash site. So somewhere along Apple Tree Lane, this is Apple Tree Lane here. This is now where authorities are telling us is the scene of the crash. So if we pull out a little bit more to give you some perspective, we can see just how far we are from Cosby. So Cosby is right here. Apple Tree Lane is in this area. That's by the Smoky Bear Campground and RV Park, Climb Work, Smoky Mountains Zip Line Tour. A lot of attractions that we've probably passed at some point during our adventures in the mountains. This is right on the national park border. So this is likely a heavily traveled area. Apple Tree Lane, not a very long stretch of road. You can see it shoots off of 321 and just dead ends there into the ridge line. But this gives us a better idea of where crews are focusing their rescue and recovery efforts after a helicopter went down. We're hearing from the Sevier County Sheriff that one person is dead and one person is critically injured. That's coming to us via Kyle Granger, who is, of course, our Sevier County Bureau Chief. And he is helping us get a better handle on this situation as we continue to learn more about this deadly helicopter crash in Sevier County. I'm going to pull back out here on the map, so this gives you a little bit better idea of exactly what we're looking at here. So you see Cosby on the upper right-hand side of your screen, and then Apple Tree Lane down here. This is where the crash happened, and so that's where rescue crews are now focusing some of their efforts to recover and rescue victims and survivors of this crash. Unclear how many people exactly were on board, but we do know from the Sevier County Sheriff one person dead and one person critically injured. Not clear if anybody else was on board or not. A lot of you sending prayers through our Facebook post and on this Facebook Live, definitely sending thoughts and prayers to this family. This would be the second aviation crash in a matter of weeks. Here in East Tennessee, we of course had a Cirrus plane that went down a couple weeks ago, not far from McGee-Tyson Airport in Alcoa. One person killed there, one person treated at a hospital. Their condition and identity is still unknown, and it's still unclear exactly what caused that crash. We're waiting for the FAA and NTSB to release their final reports on that. So definitely not an ideal situation here, but a lot of people sending prayers to families for those involved. Definitely our hearts are with those involved as well here at WVLT. We're going to give you one last look at the scene here, and then we will jump off and continue to gather more information and circle back with you. But again, if you're just joining us, a helicopter crash in Cott County, right there at the Sevier County line, just southwest of Cosby. Apple Tree Lane is where crews are focusing their recovery efforts and rescue efforts at this hour. One person dead, one person critically injured after a helicopter crashed here. We have spoken with UT Medical Center. None of their aircraft are involved. We have spoken with a couple different touring businesses in Sevier County that fly helicopters as part of commercial tours in the area. Sevier County Choppers, Scenic Helicopters Tours, and Sevier County's aviation tours, all of them telling us that their aircraft were not involved either. So that's the latest from the WVLT newsroom. We will have much more, including live reports. We've got a crew headed to the scene, should be there any minute, coming up at 4 o'clock on WVLT News and right here on major streaming platforms, in the WVLT News app, and on Facebook.